the TGT, or the Grand Tournament Tavern Brawl special that they're offering. And it looks like any 3 victories and a Druid or Hunter collection. I learned from Kriparian and Trump about the Grand Tournament cards, and in this one there's a pre-built Mage deck and a pre-built Hunter deck. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to switch between the 2 of them, but did see some success with the Mage deck, Medivh. A curious note about the deck is Medivh's definitely has a lot of reliance upon his character power. It really goes far into making his deck work. So the more often you use it, the better off you are. As you see, I'm getting rid of Fire Lance, but I'm keeping the other 2 small ones to keep on curve. And they both have Inspire effects, which is activated by your hero power. And then the Garrison allows me to use it twice per turn. So we lead with the Lowly Squire, with the attempts to hopefully over the next 2 turns or 3 turns, or in 2 or 3 turns, to start buffing him up. And we'll see that he comes with an Elephant, which is a 3/2. So I immediately start thinking that with a 3/2, if I bump his power to 2, he threatens that.
A mistake.
So instead of dropping another 2, I think I go with the Fireball to the face. Which buffs his power to 2, and go ahead and 2 to the face. But now I threaten his 3/2. See if he forces that kill. At this point he does not, which is fine. I'm thinking here, because of the 2 power, it will do something, and it also lead with a taunt. This forces that taunt to kill that. But then I take it out with my Lowly Squire. If I had thought about that, I probably would have left that and just done 2 to the face again. Because see, now at this point, what I intended to do is hit this guy twice, thanks to the special power from here, and kill with a taunt, but I mistake and get thrown off with the inspiration here. So I've kind of committed now, and I think I just go 1 to the face. I have the taunt, which will force the trade if he goes that way, but I work on trying to get his health up. Maybe I can build his health in the meantime. This was my first experience with these cards, so I wasn't sure, you know, exactly how to play them, much like, you know, some of the other cards that I do know. So I'm kind of looking at my cards, trying to figure out what's going to be my next play. And I guess it's really all based upon what the Hunter does. Medivh did have a good curve, and seemed to work fairly well. I found it difficult for Hunters to win. This is the new Lock and Load card, and it allows you, as you cast spells, it brings randomly summoned Hunter spells to your deck. So it works out well. And he's able to kill 2 of my minions with the help of that. That's the new Polymorph card, but really it's not as good as the 1/1 polymorph, as it converts things into a 4/2 with charge. Now it could turn your 1/1 into a 4/2 with charge, and that could be an exceptional change to the game. You know, being able to polymorph your own small minions to make them bigger. So I'm contemplating what to do here, as I'm struggling with 5 mana.
Interesting.
I've got the taunt there, but I've also got the kind of like the Watcher. So I go ahead and clear the board and come out with the Cavaldier Raider. Every time I use my inspiration, he's going to grow +2/+2, kind of like the Floating Watcher for the Warlock deck. Now this is an inspiration mechanic, so ideally I'm looking for any way to get a creature out there as well as activate my inspiration. Now I knew at this point in this deck there were only 3 kinds of traps: a bear trap, a freezing trap, and a flame trap. The explosive is that right? No, snipe. So I'm looking for creatures that have a health of greater than 4. Now, snipe was taking a long time to engage, but so by playing a creature with health greater than 4, I still kept my creature around. Now, as you saw there, I messed up, and I attacked first before I used my thing, because I wasn't sure what was going on with that. So the joust, he wins the joust. So he keeps his guy. I mean, he gets taunt and divine shield on it. So I now have to use the inspiration mechanic to blow the divine shield. He becomes an 8/8. I can now kill that guy, and he stays around. And I still have quite a bit of mana left.
Take this blade.
And then I come back out with the Heckler, who is also a taunt. Now, Lady of the Lake, or Maiden of the Lake, has lowered the cost of my hero power from 2 to 1. And so I'm hoping to eventually pull the Cordero Drake, which allows me to use my hero power as many times as I want. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I have a pretty good board here.
A mistake.
My sincerest apologies.
Masterful.
And I guess they just couldn't figure it out. So they go ahead and quit. And we earned a pack. So not bad. I was hoping that it would randomize between the hunter and the mage, but it looks like once your account was set, that's what you got every time. So we'll just have to continue to watch and continue to learn as we move through this interesting tavern brawl. So as you can see, there's the Cordero Drake, and I'm going to toss him back. I knew that there were much more 1s, 2s, and 3s available, and that's what I wanted to try to get at. So there's the Fallen Hero. He adds 1 to your damage, which is really good for this card, but he's a mage. And then, you know, as you can see, the Spell Slinger, he gives random spells to your deck. The Frost Giant, he lowers in cost by how many times you use your hero power. I wanted to get a 2/3 out. I want to get some presence on the board, which is why I used the coin to get him out. I find that by having this out, yes, it makes him a target, which is good, because it tends to take away from him shooting me with his weapon and trying to play board presence. He failed the joust there, and with that I still have an ability to take out his guy, yet also threaten face. So my option here is I'm trying to build up to 4 where I can put the Wraith out, have the 2 power do him in, all in the same turn. But it looks like I'm going to eat 4 here. I'm not sure exactly why he takes so long to figure it out, but I think face is the place there. Unless you're just going to sacrifice, you know, being that he's 2, either of my minions could have killed him. As you see, I was trying to count mana and trying to figure out how to use this card, but just not there yet. So I ping him, which brings my defense to 3, which he only had a power of 2, and by killing him takes down his power. And then I clear the board. Because I'm thinking next round I'm going to have him out, which will give me 2 power to kill things with, all in the same turn. So if he plays a minion that's comparable to what we've seen, I should have something to contest it with. But I'm also trying to drive up the use of this to drive the cost of this down. I'm hoping by turn 5 or 6 it's going to be low enough to you know, put on the board with little mana expense. So he didn't play anything, which was kind of disappointing, but I'm not going to let that stop me. So I'm going to go ahead and consider another option, another play, just to see what all it is. So I got a +2 with charge, but I didn't have any mana, so I just take 3 to give 3 to the face, and move on. Now it's interesting that I got a warrior, you know, because it is a random spell, and that's a pretty interesting spell, you know, +2 to attack plus charge. But I see he brings in lock and load again, and he has a pretty good chance of getting a decent amount of cards, although he's only got 4 mana and it takes 2 mana just to cast it. So he needs to be stacking up 1s and 0s to really get the best effort from this lock and load. I think lock and load is more of a mid-game presence to a late game presence, and it's all based upon how many spells you have, in that the spells that you're casting you know, give you hunter spells.
Now.
Someone is pinging me on Skype. Oh well, I'll have to check that out shortly. May have to go in and silence those notifications. They seem to be pretty loud. So I didn't think he got a very good use out of. He killed no minions and only got, you know, 2 points of damage in. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So that was totally a misplay there. Although it does lower it by 1. You know, I was thinking that it was this guy. I mean, that it was the Cold Arrow Drake that would allow me to have as many per turn. But I think I'm still okay. I have a really good board presence right now. I was feeling really good when he came out with a 3/3, knowing that I could easily, you know, take that over, or I mean, kill that. I didn't mind playing 4 because I knew the mind control tech wasn't in the deck. These are set decks, and you can look those decks up online.
To shoot.
So he throws a hunter's mark down, which was unfortunate, but it's one of those things. So here we are, trying to contemplate what's going to happen here. I look at the spell slinger and I say, well, he's not going to die, so I'll probably do that. Now this is the one casting 2 hit point fireballs that he takes right to the face, which buffs my guys up, kill him, and I still have a presence with those 2. Now I could have played that, but I opted not to. And I think I ended up just clicking out of this. I didn't have charge to really put on anybody. I mean, I could have put it on him. But I think I'm going to hold it, see if I can get better value of those 3 mana. Dun dun dun. He does win the joust. But that's okay. We're gonna see what happens. Although I have good presence on the board, I don't have anything high enough to defeat that 6. But we just have to see here. So I can transform him into the boar, and then the 2-point fireball takes him down. I get benefit from all of that, and I hit him for 10 points, 11 points for a victory. So guys, victory number 2 against the hunter. Things were moving pretty good at this point in time. So we move on to the next part, a 3rd game, also in the Tavern Brawl. Let's see if we can make it a clean sweep, 3-0. Alright. Moving on. Once again, Medivh and Illyria.
Let the games begin.
Not a bad. This reminds me of the last game. We had a pretty good hand there, and I think I ended up keeping this. I'm going to go for the get rid of the 3 and 4, and grab once again more 1s and 2s that I'm aware of. I've seen this deck in action, and you really need that early game presence. But maybe not. We're going to go with this. We're going to see how ambitious this guy is. And I think he is pretty ambitious. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go with the Spectral Knight or the Dead Knight, something like that. And he's pretty cool because every Inspire gives him more health. So, you know, he's 3-2. You use it once, 3-3. Use it twice, 3-4. He's able to, you know, combat that. Oh, we tied in the joust, so he doesn't get the card, which is good because we threaten each other. I now have 2 of these guys. I'm eager to see how they work, but it's really hard to cast them out with 2 power and no way to defend them. So you really need to wait until turn 4. Now he realizes that this guy goes up with a inspiration, so he has to kill him now. Otherwise, if he doesn't now, he's not going to have an opportunity, which forces him to play a secret. Again, the secrets have to be snipe, freezing trap, or bear trap, and I'm okay with that. 3 mana. It's an odd thing to try to do. Don't have any minions to cast a polymorph boar on. And I have 2 polymorph boars in my hand and 2 of these guys in my hand. But I think I'm just going to ping to the face and see what he plays. Now I'm considering the idea with 4 mana, maybe putting 2 of those out to see if this becomes 3. But then I see he's got this 5 guy. And I'm like, ooh, scary. But I do have the 4 mana now. So I put him out to get the 2-point thing. And I think I pinged this guy because I have a 3 power and that will threaten his 3 defense. And must got him stomped, or he's really learning these cards. But another trap. And a kill. 2 to the face. My turn. Just to see how it goes and the idea of seeing how it plays. But he's also a bigger guy. It's good to see that he comes out and try to do something, because I figured that one of those may have been snipe, and I needed a 4 health. I mean a higher than 4 health creature. So now I know that these traps are not snipe. But he does get the joust, and the joust is able to kill my guy. Bye bye. Also another joust that he wins, and he gets the Jormonger. So things are really starting to go the hunter's way. So I go 2, knowing it's not snipe. And I have 4 more to play with, but I get 2-point kill there, which leaves me 2, and he allows me to use my thing twice, but I was out of mana, so no 2 to the face. And the hunter seems to have everything that he needs to handle, has an answer for everything that I've played. And this is the Spectral Knight, and he is a son of a bitch to get rid of. As you can see here, Flame Lance, 8 points, leads to a joust. He wins the joust, it goes back to his hand.
Well played.
Nope, and we see that it's a freezing trap. So the next one's either a freezing trap or a bear trap. And take 1 to the face just because. Working on trying to get this frost giant down in cost. As you can imagine, some of the big guys come out. And I feel comfortable with this idea, but not really watching leads the excellent play of the hunter to doing what he needs to do to really ensure victory in this case, in this matter. With only 2 to the face, I bring it down in line with 8 damage. Now hopefully at my 8 will kill his 8. And the hunter has an answer. So not only does he get the Skeletal Knight back, he hunter marks my guy for 1, and then Faithful Hound to kill it. I thought that was a bit extreme, but apparently this is a well-known combo that people use. So now I'm kind of left with a handful of cards and no minions.
One day, I'll be a real knight.
So I have my lowly squire And I turn my squire into the boar. And the boar, and then sacrifice. Thinking that I could get something out with 2, and I lose the joust again. So I'm really struggling with this skeletal knight.
I appreciate that.
Really struggling. Now, if I had just polymorphed the skeleton, he would have been done. And that's something to learn. This guy, you have to polymorph to get rid of the death rattle or silence. I knew these decks didn't have silence, so I didn't even. Should have stopped worrying about it and tried to win the game. And I was trying. I'm really struggling to get some kind of presence on the board.
Don't worry, Lux. The cavalry.
But I can see this with the Divine Shield that takes care of him. So I've got 4 points. So I go for the smart play. Trying to save my day.
Dead or alive.
And they get a nice Pyroblast. But it's starting to seem that it's not going to be as well as I'd hoped. By this time, he's really kicking my butt in the jousting. He's getting everything he needs and wants. And just one of those things. Got the lightning bolt that came from the spell slinger. Yep. And that pretty much cost me. Pretty much cost me. So I'm just looking at things. And I noticed that those kind of cancel each other out. Although this is a much lower play, but because of Freezing Trap, it's much higher. So I think I need the presence on the board. Trying to see if I win, and I fail again. He is just... I've wasted so many resources in this game to kill that guy.
I appreciate
And that's probably what ultimately cost me the game. Having that card in his hand, that's constant threat of 7/4 for 6 mana is just... It was just too hard to overcome. Another large creature. I know that he's got the Skeletal Knight in his hand. He's got another card, Hunter card. And I'm taking 5 to the face. Trying to get rid of him with that. He's got a taunt now. And need to get a little bit more presence on the board. And I ping some more. Trying to get a little bit of value. The Kraken, which is 4 points, kills my taunt, which allows the Jormonger, you know, to hit face or to kill my guy. Now I'm left with 2 big creatures, and all I have to defend myself is a small guy. So I'm reaching here, and I try to go for the Blizzard to freeze him for a round, but also to give him some damage to see if I might have something come through a card draw the next turn. That was the bear trap. trying to get some kind of presence out there. But now I'm losing cards and he's gaining cards. And here comes the skeleton again. And one more joust and I lose again. So out of the 7 jousts in this game, we tied once and he won everything else. That made it very difficult to win. That's a freebie right there. But it's not enough to save me. You know, with 6 points and he's showing, 21 on the board, so that's the game. I know it's the game, so I concede. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye.